This is the High School Football America podcast for April the 2nd, 2020. I'm Fisher. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by GameStrat, America's premier sideline instant replay system with outstanding reliability and customer service and different plans priced right for every coach's budget. To get a demo, go to GameStrat.com or click on the GameStrat banner ad located on every page of HighSchoolFootballAmerica.com. Heading to the state of Oklahoma, and I have been waiting for this interview for about a week when I first met this young man. His name is Landon Wolf. He is a wide receiver with the Oklahoma State Cowboys, but we're not going to be talking college football here. No, this is High School Football America. But what makes me excited to do this interview is how I actually met Landon. And, we're all in the new norm now, and we're all trying to figure out, how do we, work from a distance and all that. And, of course, Landon is a student athlete, so he's also, as he heads into his senior year, thinking about life beyond football, whenever that may occur. And he went on LinkedIn, and he wrote it's a post. We'll call it a post. And it was right after he learned that no football-related activities for the rest of the spring semester. And you can imagine how that affected all the student athletes out there. And what he said he wanted to do was he wanted to connect with people on LinkedIn, and then he wanted to interview 100 people and gain more knowledge about his life and him growing up and what it's going to be like when football's all said and done. And I thought that was just one of the most impressive things that I've seen in a long time. And I took the time after I wrote to him to say, hey, yeah, I'm willing to answer whatever questions you have. And I guess about a week ago, we spent an hour on the phone. He asked me a lot of great questions, made me think a lot about who I am and what I do and where I want to go. So I said, hey, you want to hop on the podcast here and talk a little bit about it and talk some high school football? And he said, absolutely. So Landon Wolf is on the line right now to talk a little high school football from Oklahoma and a lot about what I think is one of the greatest ideas out there during the coronavirus stay quarantine part of our lives. Welcome to the show, Landon.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I'm like I said, I've been blown away. I've done thousands of these throughout my life, and I just thought what I saw you do was so cool and special. And I guess we'll just start at the top. So you put that out there. What put it in your brain that this would be a time to do something that's a little unique?
I'm really just trying to set myself apart and really take this time and use it to my advantage. I have a great mentor that had played at Oklahoma State and had played in the NFL and is now working on the transitioning phase from football to his other careers. And, he was kind of in my ear about using my LinkedIn and what can I do to better myself. And that's kind of where the post originated from was his idea about not letting this time be an idle time or a dead period, but being able to kind of raise my game in the next level in every sense.
Yeah, I think it's one of the greatest things that I've seen during this time. Landon Wolf is on the line. He played his high school football at East Central High School in Tulsa, and then he walked on for the Cowboys. Last year, third straight year, a all Big 12 academic All-American, which is a great thing. And tell me a little bit about, I know I wrote you, and I know some other people wrote you. So how many people responded? How many interviews have you done? And we'll go from there on some of maybe the lessons learned.
A lot of people have responded. A lot of people had left comments when they saw the post. A lot of people just went straight to my messages and said they'd be willing to help in any way or fashion they could. And I've conducted about 15 interviews right now, and from the 15 that I interviewed, I've had more people reach out from the post, but also the people that I interviewed, I got other recommendations and connections that I made through them. So it's really just more interviews piling on top of each other. So I'm really excited to learn all the different things and learn from different people in different careers and different business fields. And I feel like I've learned a lot of valuable information.
What are some of the little nuggets that you've been able to take away so far? I'm sure you had one or two or probably more than you can count.
Yeah. One thing that I talked to a business person out of New York from, I don't want to say their name, but they told me a little bit about their morning routine. And as you know, I asked about morning routines and how it shifted from the workplace to home and how people are being productive and what they're doing to improve their environments to, really foster learning or foster whatever they need to get done for the day. And one person recommended that I do cold showers. And that's something that I've done in the past, maybe a couple years ago, but a cold shower and some tea was their recommendation, and that's something that I've been doing, and I really feel like it helps me wake up and kind of get the morning going in a shocking way.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, can I handle it? I don't know. I like a good cold show. After a hot workout, I can handle it. In the morning, I'm not so sure. But anyway, I'll take that under advisement. We're talking with Landon Wolf on High School Football America's podcast. Again, if you're just tuning in right now, we started with the fact that he went on LinkedIn and he's been talking to business people and people from all walks of life as part of his growing session here during our downtime. He plays at Oklahoma State, played his high school football in Oklahoma as well at East Central High School. And one of the things that I'm thinking here is your major of sociology is probably, or did play a large role into this. So tell me a little bit about what you're learning about the world as a result of people reaching out after you reached out.
I would say the biggest thing that I've learned and that I was kind of hesitant before posting was I didn't know what kind of feedback I was going to get. I didn't know if people were going to be willing to take time to be on a phone call and to connect and have conversations that I was trying to have. And the feedback that I've gotten has showed me that people are willing to help, and people do generally want to help and be able to give back in any type of way that they can. And for all of us, that looks differently. So in this particular instance, it looked like the phone call, to taking 10 minutes, taking 30 minutes or an hour out of our day to have conversations. And these people, I think, have a very clear perspective and are very deliberate about what they do with their day, because a lot of people are very successful in whatever they've been doing. So being able to learn from them, I feel like I can learn something from anybody. So being able to learn from all these people and just being appreciative of the time and being appreciative of the conversation from both ways. So that's something that I've learned that I didn't expect over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that are on social media during this day and age can feel distanced, even though the community is so large out there. And like you said, part of the fear is, will anybody respond to this? And obviously, your faith in mankind a little bit lifted as a result of this. Landon Wolf on the line, senior to be at Oklahoma State, a Cowboy, played his high school football in Tulsa. We're going to talk about that in a second. You mentioned one of the questions that you threw out there, and I told Landon before we started rolling tape here, he really made me think with his very first question, which was, how has the coronavirus affected my day-to-day? And my answer was, it hasn't changed, because I've been working from home and self-employed for a while, but he really kind of got me into my own head. So I thought that was a great question to ask. So what do you have is it a set number of questions? They the same? Do you adapt it? Give the listeners out there some of the questions you're asking, because maybe it'll jog their memory or their mind to think a little forward.
Yeah, so I had 6 general questions that I kind of went into each interview with. That one was just, how do you create your environment now that everything's shifted from home or from workplace to the house? And then what is your morning routine, and how has it changed with this transition to the coronavirus? And from there, I kind of got a sense for the person, and we kind of got more comfortable. And from there, I asked how they got to the position their careers in currently. So I know a lot of people, I was just judging their career development from their LinkedIn description. So a lot of that is, it's very service level and very just title based. So I wanted to understand how people got to where they were and what their intentions were, and if they're where they want to be, or if there's still next steps to be taken, or, all of those things. And then the final 2 questions I had was, is there anybody that you can connect me with? And after we had talked to the first 3 or 4 questions, I feel like we had a pretty good idea of where we were both coming from and what I wanted to do and what they're doing and whatnot. So a lot of people did have connections, like I mentioned earlier, and those are people that I have interviews set up with for the next couple of weeks. And then the final question was, is there anything that I can help you with or do for you? And I know for a lot of people, they didn't have anything for me, but I wanted to extend that offer, because a lot of people, they may have wanted, I don't know what I could have helped with, but I know that I can always extend that offer if they're doing all that they can to help me and give advice and take time out of their day. The least I can do is extend the same offer back.
Yeah, and I thought that was fantastic. I think as I think more about that from my perspective, because I do believe we're going to have a 2020 season. I do believe we're, as a country, going to come out of this. What I want from you is I want a smile on my face when I get to watch you play in 2020. That's all I want. It's going to be neat to see what you do, and for years from now to see what you do. Landon Wolf on the line, Oklahoma State. He was third on the team in receptions last year. I talked about him being an academic Big 12 All-American, which is so cool. Let's talk a little football now, and take me back to East Central High School there in Tulsa and your career. I noticed it on your bio on the Cowboys website. Your coach is mentioned there, Cameron Bennett, and I was just curious. Tell me a little bit. You were listed as a versatile player in high school and totaled more than 2,000 all-purpose yards in high school in your career. So tell me a little bit about that high school career there at East Central High School.
Yeah, so I would say I have kind of a unique high school story. I went to a school in Tulsa. There was a private school called Lincoln Christian my freshman year, and I transferred out after my freshman year, so I had to sit out my sophomore season, and I played my final 2 seasons at East Central. So my junior and senior season, I played at East Central, and I played just about every position. I played a little running back, predominantly receiver and safety, but I played corner at that time as well. And returner, but just about everything. I was on everything kickoff. So I played just about every position, been all over the field.
Jack of all trades, no doubt about that. His name is Landon Wolf, playing now at Oklahoma State. We're talking a little bit about his high school career, but one of the things that I'd like to talk about, because we have so many, not only coaches, but a lot of players that listen to this, and in a world where the 24/7, sports and stars and rivals and scout all those guys out there, you were a walk-on, which means you didn't get a scholarship. So let's kind of get everybody excited out there that if you're not being recruited as heavily as you would like and all that, there's still opportunity. So tell me a little bit about your junior and senior year experience and how it led to you walking on with the Cowboys.
Yeah, so my junior season in East Central, I was one of the few juniors that played. I think we had 3 juniors that ended up being seniors. So after my junior season, we had all underclassmen that were playing outside of the 3 to be seniors that were there. So everyone was going through a big learning curve, and we actually had 4 coaches in 4 years at East Central. So after our junior season, our coach just left and didn't tell us. We found out through the athletic director, and he just left. So after he left, he didn't record any of the stats. He didn't send it to Match Preps or to the newspapers or anybody. So basically, everybody had zeros on the stat book. So me and my quarterback, there was a senior, Trayvon Cherry, who ended up going to Grambling State to play quarterback and corner, but me and him had 1,000 yards together and outside of the other receivers that he had. So basically I had 0 statistics for the junior season. Going into my senior season, nobody really knew who I was. I didn't really have honors. I didn't have recommendations or anything like that. So I was real discouraged, and I thought about quitting. And Cameron Bennett, the coach that you had mentioned, was the coach that came in to replace my junior year coach. So he was my coach my senior year, and me and him had a conversation that really, changed the direction. And he was like, I think you should play. Like, you're thinking about it all too serious. So, because in my mind, I was like, if I'm not going to be able to get a scholarship and go play football in college, then, I might as well start making money and get into the workforce and, just begin my regular life. That was my mindset. But Coach Bennett kind of talked to me and gave me a different perspective. He was like, look, you'll have the rest of your life to work. I think you should play, enjoy being a high school kid. And I ended up playing, and it went well, and I had a good season. And I still wasn't getting the offer that I wanted. I was talking to coaches, and the coach would come by the school because, Tulsa has a lot of talent in general, but East Central was a stop that I feel like they made kind of as a courtesy call. And they would come to my school and talk to me and then leave and then go off for my friends from other schools, So I was happy for them, but at the same time, I felt like I was being underappreciated and under-recognized. So I ended up having a couple of, I had D1 schools talk to me, but I had no D1 offers. So I had a couple of D2 offers and a couple of NAIA offers. And I went on visits to the school that I had offers from, and really just didn't feel like that's where I wanted to be or that's where I needed to be. So kind of last minute, Coach Bennett sent a whole bunch of emails out, sent my film to all the D1 schools that he could find contact information for, and Oklahoma State reached out, and I went to their junior day / their walk-on day, and talked to my position coach, talked to the offensive coordinator, and decided that's what I wanted to spend my next 4 years on.
And as they say, the rest is history, but still to be written here as he heads into his senior year. Landon Wolf on the line, Oklahoma State, played at East Central, as he's saying. The fact that you had, or the program, I guess, because you weren't there all 4 years, as you said, but the program had different coaches throughout, and Coach Bennett did what he did for you. What for all the coaches out there who sometimes don't hear the love from the players, right? We're all at one point we're all young, and maybe we didn't say what we should have said to our elders. What did Coach Bennett do for you that you'd like to kind of just say, man, that helped? Because it sounds like it helped a lot for him to change that perspective or that trajectory you're on.
Man, his advice has helped a lot. Not even since high school, but even to this point, we still keep in contact. So I know going into my senior year, he was the one that kept me in football in general. And then afterwards, he was like, man, you should walk on. Because when we talked about Oklahoma State, he was like, would you want to be a walk-on? And I was like, I don't really know how that works, or how any of that process goes. But he basically told me and painted a picture of, I think you should go try it. You should put your best foot forward. You should take a big leap. And that way you can look back when you're 30 or 40, however old, and not have any regrets. So I want to say thank you to Coach Bennett. If you hear this, thank you, Coach Bennett. Thank you for everything you've done for me and everything you continue to do. It's a crazy amount of love for you guys.
Well, that's very well said, and we're going to make sure we get to make him hear that, because I'll figure that out for you. The other thing that when you and I were talking the other week, and you were asking me questions, I asked you a couple of questions too, and I asked you a little bit about your mom. No one does it alone, right? It takes a village, and I know your mom probably is when she hears is going to have a smile on her face. But what about your mom? I know she had a big role in your life to get you to where you are, and I'm sure she's proud, but what are some of the things that your mom did to make you who you are right now?
Wow, my mom has done a tremendous amount of things since I've been little. She raised me by herself, and that speaks for itself and alone. She's always had more than one job, always had more than two jobs since I've been 5 years old, since as far as I can remember. So she's led by example in a lot of ways. She's given me a lot of lessons, but really has showed me how to lead and how to take care of business and how to go about things strategically. And that's something that I'll never forget, and something that I'm still learning right now. As I'm home, I'm able to see how she moves and how she operates and what her routines are and what works for her. So I'm always learning from her, and she's always inspiring me to do better and to aim higher.
Landon Wolf on the line, Oklahoma State wide receiver, like the rest of us, on quarantine, but, like a lot of us, we're still moving forward, because when we come out of it, we're all going to be better for it. So I guess that's the way we'll wrap up this interview here. Certainly, I know everybody hopes that there's a football season ahead, no matter what level it is. But when you come out of this and we have the new norm, how different a person are you going to be, and how excited are you going to be to hit the gridiron one more time?
I'm super excited. I think this is the time for all of us to be able to hone in on our skills and really craft the things that we're deficient at and improve the things that we're already accomplished at or successful at. So I'm excited to come out on the other side of it and get back with the team and get back to work.
And you know what? It made me think of one other question when you said, we all are kind of on our own right now. For some of the young boys that are out there listening to this podcast, what are you doing to keep yourself in shape? Is there any unique things? Like I had a guy the other day we talked to on the podcast, actually his coach, who's working out with hay bales. He put a bar between the two hay bales and was lifting him. And another guy was working on that as a defensive tackle, pushing hay bales around. So you got anything unique, or just some good tips for the young men out there?
Man, I don't have any hay bale workouts, but get to what you can get to. Resource-wise, I know a lot of gyms are closed, so I've been doing a lot of bodyweight things and running hills and been sweating in the sauna and whatnot. So really just get to what you can, and be intentional about what you want to aim for and what you want to achieve, and don't take the time as a dead period, and don't waste it.
Yeah, and that's don't waste it. That's those two good words. Don't waste it. That's 3 words, actually. Landon Wolf, I really have had a blast getting to know you. As I said to you when we talked last week, whatever you need, just call me. But I am so impressed with what you're doing, and now hopefully as America listens to this, they'll know a little bit more. You can go to him, hit him up on LinkedIn. Give him some advice, help him out. He's hungry and thirsty for knowledge, and you can't fault a young young man for that. So best of luck, Landon. I know you and I will be talking down the road, maybe years down the road. Keep in touch with us, but thank you for joining us and sharing your story with us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
And don't forget to join in on the fun we're having today on Twitter. Once again, we've got a share going on, and today's topic is team photos. And we've had a lot of them from around the nation with lots of impressions. Make sure you post your high school football team photo at High School Football America's Twitter handle, HSFB America. And we want to remind everyone, next Wednesday is going to be a big day for GameStrat. They are going to be hosting a live, yes, I said live Zoom clinic, a demo, Wednesday, April the 8th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and all the attendees will be eligible for up to $200 off. Ka-ching! Who couldn't use a little extra money in their pocket at this point when their budgets are going to be a little tested come high school football 2020. Yes, I said high school football 2020. I'm a positive thinker. There is going to be a 2020 high school football season. Learn why more coaches are switching to GameStrat next Wednesday, April the 8th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The High School Football America podcast is brought to you by GameStrat, America's premier sideline instant replay system with outstanding reliability and customer service. Both of those are key, and different plans priced right for every coach's budget. To get a demo, go to GameStrat.com or click on the GameStrat banner ad located on every page of HighSchoolFootballAmerica.com. Now, this is Jeff Fisher saying, stay safe and stay healthy, America. You've been listening to the High School